charity, and incidentally the Association of Natural Burial Grounds as well, which is an association that the Natural Death Centre umbrella and look after. What am I doing here today? I am supporting a Dead Good Day Out in Southampton, helping to inspire and empower the public and making more improved choices about the funerals and everything they need to eventually deal with, because as we know, we're all on the way out.
My name's Mandy Priest and I'm a soul midwife, and I make prayer beads for people. So the idea is they can make up their own prayer, or there's prayers that I've devised, and they say a line of the prayer for each bead, and then the bead changes at the end so they know they've got to the end, so they can actually close their eyes and actually work their mantra if they're feeling stressed or late at night when they're agitated. It's something for them to do. They're quite tactile. I also use them for soul midwives. There's a soul midwife prayer, and I use those in terms of when we finish working with a friend. It's a way of giving thanks for the work we do, but also then breaking with the energy of working with the dying and taking us back to our living life. And so I sit in the car when I finish my work and do my prayer, and it gets me back to myself. And then I normally eat chocolate and play loud music in the car.
And where do you work? How can we contact you?
I'm at Christchurch Hospice, Macmillan Caring locally in Christchurch, or you can reach me on mandy.priestbtinternet.com, and I also do a Facebook group talking about home funerals, and that's called Love at the End.
Great, thank you.
So I'm a funeral director based down in Poole in Dorset. I've been in the funeral profession for 8 years. I first got interested in doing work experience when I was 15. It's a really great event here today just because it's open-minded and bringing people into a safe area where they can explore the idea of death and dying in a supportive environment, and have people here to talk to about various aspects of death and dying. And it's great, there's talks on demystifying myths and things like that, and just bringing it really into people's attention. And it's obviously a natural part of life, but I think the way that we are in society, we tend not to look at it that way, and so events like this are great for just trying to open people's mind and get them talking about it, because like I say, it's a natural part of life, but it's understandably very difficult. So hopefully events like these just help people to feel a little bit more easy about the topic and come to terms with our mortality.
Great, and the name of your company is?
It's Harmony Funeral Service.
My name's Minky, and I do Mexican-inspired art. So this is inspired by sugar skulls. So it's basically just using as many colours and vibrant colours to basically inspire like happy lives and celebrate lives, basically. And yeah, that's about it. And also I've been doing some sugar skull face painting today as well. This is my pig here. Yeah. He's sort of, there's a long story behind him, so I won't bore you with it now. But if you look on the website, it's minkyarts.com.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Laura Joy. I'm a visual artist. I came here today to make some life masks, thinking about the things that we love in our lives, the things that perhaps we need to make more time for and do more of as our time is short. I lost both my mum and my sister to cancer, and it's important to me now to share my creative skills in a way that might help people to connect with what they still want to do while they're alive, and to remember the wonderful things that they have done in their life, and that the masks are a way to focus that in on something and think through collage, through drawing, through the use of colour, how to represent all those things.
I'm Adam Johnson. I represent and work for Heritage Will Writing. It's a company that Sandra and I set up and run, offering a will writing, probates and long-term care advice service across most of South England, principally writing wills for clients. And today we're talking about will writing is a choice in terms of clients making a decision not to rely on intestacy, but to make a decision to say, actually, I want to take control of my affairs and decide who gets my possessions, who looks after my children, and ensure that their wishes are carried out. And so that's what our service does. Go out and visit people in their own homes, at care homes, in hospices, to write their wills and organise their financial affairs for them.
Great, thank you.
My name is Heather Lipscombe, and this is my piece of stitch, and it's all about near-death. So this sailor is almost dying, and he's been rescued by the mermaid. And that's all there is to say. It's very tactile, you can touch it if you wish.
Yeah.
And basically the lighthouse has gone out. There is no lamp in the lighthouse.
Yeah.
So the ship has crashed on the rocks. The skipper has been thrown into the sea. The mermaid has caught him. But you don't know really whether that's the mermaid or if it's the lighthouse keeper, because it's only a dream. So it's something that might happen, but it's an insurance policy for sailors. These are tribute portraits. These are, some of them are painted. This one is painted and would have been much larger than this, so that's a print. So really, basically what you do is you get a collection of photographs which are related to the person, and my son then paints the imagery and does the layout for you. So it's nice if you've got somebody who's had a really interesting life and has got a lot of hobbies like this particular guy did. And then this one would obviously have to be done after the person had died, because they take a long time to do. These ones were done actually prior to the reception at a funeral, so they would have been there for people to look at and have memories of the person who died, and then also they were done as prints so relatives could take the imagery away with them.
I'm Angie McLachlan. I'm a member of Dying Matters Coalition and also Red Flag Interpretation LLP, which is an interpretation company that deals a lot with death and dying matters. I've developed Ichabod as an interactive death dummy who enables me to teach care of the dead and care of the deceased to students primarily down in Green Fuse in Devon, but also to be taken into hospices and nursing homes to facilitate conversations about death and to help people learn about basic laying out skills. He's very interactive and comes with quite a lot of human-like characteristics and surprises, and he's proved to be a very important tool in my work.
I'm Louise Curry, and I'm the founder of Earth to Heaven, which is a company where we supply bespoke natural willow coffins, urns, scatter tubes and memorial products, both to the funeral industry and to the general public.
And where are you based?
Based in Chichester, and I have a warehouse near Arundel. We also supply a range of products for the pet industry, so for pet remains, burial, scatter tubes again.
My name's Jean Francis. I'm a One Spirit integrated minister, and I am passionate about helping people design funerals that are incredibly personal and ideally prior to need, long before there's a need, so that we can sit down, talk about the options, laugh about the options, and we've got plenty of time, no rush, no pressure, to be able to create the perfect occasion for each person. And with a party planning background, I tend to create occasions just outside the box, if you'll excuse the pun. And my first book, Time to Go, gives us many ideas as to how one can create a funeral that is very different and very personal. And then following that, there's a little book called Finishing Touches. This is full of 60-odd ideas. If someone dies, you don't really want to plough through an entire book. This little job gives it in a nutshell. And for people who have shells full of ashes, this little book also tells you gives you so many ideas as to what you can do with cremated ashes. And these, the darlings I'm holding here, Old Mr. Ted, Monkey with Moth-Eaten Ears and Panda, they were given to me when I was in the first year of my life, and I plan to have them buried with me. I can't part with them, so they're coming too, and they love coming out on these wonderful occasions, such as today.
Jan Temenos. I work at Oakhaven Hospice, which is in the New Forest. I work as a nurse as part of the Hospice at Home team, but also I've been, over the last 4 years, with the sponsorship of Macmillan, I've been developing something called the Acorn Approach. And the Acorn Approach is our way of working with children and young people in the community to raise awareness around death, dying, bereavement, loss, transition, all of that things. So to try and tick as many boxes as we can, from the patient's point of view, because I involve patients and carers who work as part of the Acorn team, it gives them a forum, a space to talk about their experiences, around their fears, and to be in a really honest place around what they're going through and what they're worried about what's going to happen to them. And also what they say to me is it gives them the opportunity to give something back and make meaning of the illnesses that they have. I think everybody feels really validated by Acorn. The children validate the patients validate the children. So as far as the hospice is concerned, and Macmillan, it raises the profile, it actually addresses myths, fears, it actually helps people work through stuff. And as far as the children are concerned, the national curriculum, they have to look at things like death, dying, bereavement. It's part of the national curriculum, so it's good for schools to do it. But everything's more than the sum of its parts. So this project, if I just talk about one project, this project here, a group of 7-year-olds were actually doing about ancient Egypt and doing a museum for their school hall. So this is Tutu, who is a blow-up doll who we mummified in rock art. This is a cardboard coffin that we actually turned into a sarcophagus, and the project itself was around what are you going to miss when you die, because the ancient ones believed that you could take those things with you. So the patients and children, it was a project where they actually considered the things they were going to miss, and they, inside of this coffin, this sarcophagus, is a collage of things that people will miss.